Welcome back to the Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. I'm joined by Vikings preseason TV analyst and does a little NFL Network stuff too, Mike Mayock. Where can the Vikings help their team with this draft?
Well, I think it starts and ends at the quarterback position. And my whole thing in the NFL, Wabi, is that if you don't have that guy, that franchise quarterback, you can't win in this league. And you can look at the Cardinals when Kurt Warner retired and what happened to them. You can go back to the '08 draft, and I think the fate of two franchises were determined by the first pick. Miami took Jake Long, heck of a football player. You can't argue with him as a football player, but they didn't take Matt Ryan. And 3 years later, the Atlanta Falcons are heading one way, and the Miami Dolphins are heading another way. So the franchise quarterback is key. And Rick Spielman and his group of guys have a tough year this year because they got to figure these guys out. And there's 4 quarterbacks that have first-round talent. I'm not saying they're first-round grades, in my opinion, but first-round talent. If the Vikings don't get a quarterback, it pretty much doesn't matter what else they do. They got to get a quarterback.
What can Rick Spielman and company learn about these quarterbacks at this event to help them further their judgment on them?
Well, it's a process, and that's what I try to tell people all the time. The process begins once the season ends for the college kids. Then you go to the Senior Bowl or the East-West or wherever you're going. The juniors declare, the Cam Newtons of the world, the Ryan Malletts of the world, they come out. And now all of a sudden you get to the Combine, and it's kind of a race between now and draft day. You got 2 months to figure these kids out. And at the quarterback position, you got to figure out what kind of kid he is. You can watch the tape. You can figure that Rick will be great on the tape. I think Rick would probably tell you that the key is what kind of kid is he? Is he the first one in the morning? Does he want to be the best quarterback in the NFL, or does he want to be a diva? You know, and I'm not trying to knock Cam Newton, who's a really gifted, talented, smart kid, but that's the key to the quarterback position, is that once you establish a certain baseline level of competence, what kind of kid is he? And is he going to lead your franchise?
Does this draft have that depth and those players that can do that for the Vikings?
Depends where you go. Now, there's really good high-level talent on the defensive line. I got 9 defensive ends with first-round grades, which is twice as high as usual, okay? So if you get a defensive end in the first or second round, you're going to get a really good football player. There are 5 or 6 offensive tackles I really like, and then there's a drop-off. But the interior offensive lineman is really deep. There's a whole group of guys you can get in the second, third, or fourth round that I think are starting players in the NFL.